For over 8 decades, Batman's suit has changed with the times, adapting to new threats, styles, and technologies. From the classic comic book look to armored, tactical designs, every Batsuit has its own unique story. Let's have a look into the most iconic Batman suits and see how the Dark Knight's look has evolved through the years. It all started in 1939. Batman's first suit was basic, but had a strong presence. A gray bodysuit, black trunks, and a long, stiff cape that spread out like bat wings. The design took inspiration from pulp heroes like Zorro, keeping things dark and mysterious. His cowl had long, sharp ears, almost sticking out to the sides, making him look more like a real bat. And, of course, there was the simple yellow utility belt. No fancy gadgets yet, just a few basic tools. Bill Finger was the artist behind the look, bringing a gothic touch to Batman's design. He made sure the cape had scalloped edges, mimicking real bat wings. At first, Batman even wore purple gloves, but that changed quickly. By the end of 1939, his gloves turned black, his ears became straighter, and his cape started to flow more dramatically in the comics. Not only this, artists kept tweaking the suit, adding little changes here and there. Batman was still a work in progress, but this first suit laid the foundation for everything that came after. The legend had begun, and Gotham's protector was here to stay. The 1950s and 1960s gave Batman a fresh, new look. His suit got brighter, swapping out the darker tones for a gray and blue color scheme. The biggest change? The bat symbol. It now had a bright yellow oval around it, making it stand out more. This version of Batman was less about fear and more about solving crimes with his detective skills. Comics during this time focused on lighter, more fun stories, and Batman's suit reflected that shift. Then came one of the strangest Batman suits ever, the Batman of Zur-En-Arrh. In 1958, Batman traveled to another planet and met an alien scientist named Tiano, who was basically that world's version of Batman. His suit? A wild mix of red, purple, and gold, with a simple, squiggly bat symbol on the chest. It looked completely different from the usual Gotham style, but the basic design stayed the same. Years later, this suit made a comeback. Grant Morrison brought it back in a new way, making it part of Bruce Wayne's mind as a backup personality. Then, in 2024, artist Jorge Jimenez reimagined it again, keeping its bold, flashy colors alive. The 1966 Batman TV series gave the world one of the most unforgettable Batsuits. Worn by Adam West, this version of the suit was softer and more colorful, matching the fun and light-hearted tone of the show. The gray bodysuit, blue cape, and short bat ears made Batman look friendlier, while the eyebrows drawn on the mask added a touch of drama. Unlike the dark and serious versions that came later, this Batman was all about over-the-top action, humor, and unforgettable one-liners. Beyond this, the suit itself stayed true to the Silver Age comic design, keeping the two-pointed bat symbol on the chest and the bright yellow utility belt. But some details were adjusted for TV. The cape and gloves, which were blue in the comics, sometimes looked almost black or even purple under the studio lights. It didn't have the heavy armor or high-tech gadgets seen in later versions, but it didn't need them. For years after the show ended, this Batsuit remained one of the most recognized designs. Whether loved or laughed at, it played a huge role in making Batman a household name for a whole new generation. In 1986, Batman changed again, and this time he looked bigger, tougher, and darker than ever. Frank Miller's The Dark Knight. Returns introduced an older, battle-worn Bruce Wayne who came out of retirement to clean up Gotham. His suit reflected that. Thick, heavy, and built for war. The bright blue and gray of earlier years were gone. Now, the colors were darker, almost washed out, making Batman look like a shadow. The bat symbol on his chest was massive, stretching wide across his torso without the yellow oval. His utility belt was a pale color, almost white, with pouches instead of the usual sleek compartments. The cowl had shorter, more squared-off ears, giving him a hardened, no-nonsense look. Every part of this suit screamed power, age, and experience. Moreover, this Batman wasn't a smooth acrobat or a detective in a bright suit. He was a force of nature. His thick gloves and boots made him look like a soldier, and his cape was less for style and more for intimidation. This design didn't just redefine Batman's look, it set the tone for the darker, grittier versions that would follow. In 1989, Batman changed forever. Tim Burton's Batman movie introduced a darker, more serious version of the hero, and Michael Keaton's suit became legendary. The blue and gray were gone. This Batman was covered in solid black armor, making him look like a shadow moving through the night. The only thing that stood out was the bright yellow bat symbol on his chest. For the first time, Batman's suit wasn't just cloth. It was built for protection and made of hard rubber that could stop bullets. The cape flowed dramatically, adding to the eerie, gothic look of the film. The cowl had short, sharp ears and a serious expression, making Keaton's Batman